open cheating on my wife! I couldn't believe this was happening. I, Edward Stokes, had just made love to the most beautiful woman I had ever seen, much less known. I have no idea why she wanted me. There is absolutely nothing special about me. It wasn't until she took off her clothes that I truly believed she wouldn't stop and yell "April Fool" at me. I didn't want our time together to end, not only because it felt so good, but because I didn't want to go home to my wife Whitney. It was so late that she couldn't help but notice. I had to tell her something. I'm really bad at lying, so I decided to tell her the truth and cannonball her. If she forbade me from having sex with her as punishment, I was unlikely to notice a significant difference. I found her already in bed, but still awake. "Well, look who finally dragged her sorry ass home. Why are you in your work clothes? Take off your clothes and go to bed." "I'm dressed because I'm afraid I'm leaving soon." "Leaving? Where would you want to go at this hour?" "I suspect you'll kick me out when you find out what I've done." Whitney straightened up on the bed. "Shit, I hope you didn't wreck the new car." "No, nothing like that." "Well, now you've finally woken me up, asshole. Come on, tell me and get it over with. It can't be that bad." "It can. I just had sex with Stephanie Cox." "Stephanie Cox? Our high school classmate? Stephanie Cox, the model?" Yeah." She laughed and kept laughing for a few minutes. "You'd think I'd believe that. You want me to believe that a beautiful woman like her would want to have sex with you. You're either high, joking, lying, or delusional. For God's sake, she can get any man in this town she wants, married or single. I can't believe you told me that joke with such a serious expression on your face." It was almost convincing. "When did you get to be such a good comedian?" She continued to giggle. I was a little mad at her for that comment. "Whitney, I'm telling the truth. Stephanie and I had sex tonight, several times." "Yes, we did. Honey, I don't believe Stephanie would have sex with you even if you got her drunk. Now get undressed and get into bed. It's late, and I need to get some sleep." "Well, first I need to shower and see if I can get rid of all the smells of Stephanie's perfume and her bright lipstick." That last comment was made out of spite in response to her dismissive attitude toward me. My comment only caused another explosion of laughter from my wife. I took a shower and then went to the guest bedroom. I barely slept, but at least I replayed my evening with Stephanie in my head. The next morning, Whitney came downstairs for her morning cup of coffee that I always made. As soon as she sat down with her cup and took a sip, a wide smile appeared on her face. "So, Don Juan, are you going to tell me the truth about where you've been and what you really did tonight?" "What do you want? I told you the truth about last night and you didn't believe me." "Come on, honey. If you could get a woman like Stephanie to go to bed with you, I wouldn't be mad at you. I'd give you a medal. It would be the miracle of a lifetime. I wouldn't even begrudge you your pleasure. If the most handsome man in the world started hitting on me, I'd be next to him in bed in a heartbeat, whether I was married or not. And no, I have not had sex with the most handsome man or any other man, handsome or not. I'm perfectly content with boring sex with you and our mediocre life. It's nice to know that my faithful wife thinks so highly of me and would be willing to break our wedding vows so easily." "Easily?" I said, "the most handsome man in the world. How am I going to meet him, let alone get him into bed? Edward, continuing to feed your sick bedroom fantasy is starting to make me a little tired." She paused and smirked. "So, are you and Stephanie going to do it again anytime soon? If so, I'd like to watch. I'd like to see it myself." "Whitney, I wasn't planning on it, but after your sarcastic reaction, I just might have sex with her again. She said she enjoyed it." I left her giggling at the kitchen table. I was angry. I went to work and began to wonder if the people I worked with might suspect that I had cheated on my wife. Apparently, there was no indication that anything had changed in me. I had lunch with Dale, my best friend at work. I was so excited about my good fortune that I couldn't wait to tell someone I could trust about it. "Dale, I need to tell you something, but you have to promise not to tell anyone." What? You stole the office legal pad to take home? No, I'm serious. Dale, I had sex with another woman last night. Dale had a shocked look on his face. You're saying you had sex with another woman besides Whitney? How much did she charge? Dan, she's not a call girl. She's a beautiful woman who willingly gave herself to me. Of course she did. If that's true, did you or both of you have bags on your heads? It was funny to him. I'm telling the truth. For your information, I had sex with model Stephanie Cox. He laughed for a long time. People in the cafeteria started looking at him. He was laughing really loud. Edward, do you really expect me to believe that? She's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, for God's sake. And you're an average slob at best. Stephanie seems like the most gorgeous woman to ever come out of this town. She can get any handsome, rich man in the world she wants. You're not even in the top half of the list of handsome men in this little town. The roads are strewn with the bodies of men she's taken down over the years. Men whose face, body, and wallet look so much better than yours. Plus, I saw you in the shower room. No woman would make love to you. You're more of the type of man who makes women buy their toys at stores to avoid having sex with a guy like you. Whew. Thanks for the laugh, buddy. I needed it. You and Stephanie Cox? Yeah, right. And I think he was still chuckling as he walked home from work that night. Before I went home, I called Stephanie. I wondered what her attitude would be. I was worried that she would regret being with me and brush me off as a one-time mistake. I was afraid to call her. My memories of our meeting were perfect, and I didn't want to burst the bubble. Good afternoon, my love. I'm so glad you called. I was afraid you wouldn't because you regretted our meeting. I really hope you don't regret that we had sex. As for me, I'm still coming down from the high of last night. I keep replaying our time together over and over in my head. I hope you didn't have too many problems at home with Whitney. Actually, no, it's been relatively normal. I'm glad, but I'm also curious. What did you say to her about why you were so late? I told her I had sex with you. You... what? Yeah, I told her the truth. Oh my God. What did she do to you? Did she yell and scream at you? Did she throw anything at you? Did she kick you out? No. She didn't believe me. She said a beautiful woman like you would never want to be with me, even if I gave you a drug to get you to date. That's really unpleasant for a husband to hear. In fact, I can understand it. Face it, Stephanie, you're way out of my league. You could have men much prettier and fitter than me. I'm just thrilled to have spent one night with you in my life. I'll cherish that memory forever. I don't know what you think of my league, but Edward, there is absolutely nothing wrong with your looks. You are an intelligent, caring person with a good sense of humor. People like you are harder to find than you think. It's true that I've dated some of the most beautiful men in the world and found that most of them were narcissistic and superficial. They were usually bad lovers. Now that I've found you, I don't want to let you go. You've shown me that you know how to make love to a woman, not just use her. Last night was the best lovemaking I've ever had because you're a real man. Actually, Edward, I'm glad she treated you badly. I hope that her reaction makes it more likely that you'll want to get together again. I really want to continue what we started, even if we cheat on Whitney. I don't need a disrespectful reaction from my wife to make me want to make love to you again. I definitely want to repeat. If she doesn't want to believe I'm having sex with you, that's her problem. Edward, please be honest. Did you really enjoy it so much that you're willing to risk your marriage? I don't need time to think about my answer. I think our meeting was the best time I've ever spent with any woman. It's not a hard choice for me. I want to spend at least one more night with you, regardless of the consequences. Maybe we can see if we can do even better next time, Edward. I'm sure we have reserves. Stephanie, you're turning me on right now just talking about it. I wish I could be with you to see it, to touch it. When do you think we can get back together? How about a long lunch tomorrow? I'll agree if we meet at my house and take me out for lunch. A really long lunch. If you don't mind, I don't mind. I'll see you then, love. She made a kissing sound before hanging up. I didn't do very well the rest of the day. I went home at 5, thinking about lunch tomorrow. Whitney started where she left off. "It's good to see you home, lover boy. I assume you have a hot date with your girlfriend Stephanie tonight?" "No, but we do have an afternoon planned for lunch tomorrow, FYI. Whitney giggled. "Where are you meeting your girlfriend? You promised to let me watch next time." "In her luxurious apartment." "No, I didn't say you could watch. Maybe I could get Stephanie to take us off so I could let you watch the video." Oh my God. My loving husband is being seduced by Miss... Was that a April Fool's joke? What am I going to have to do to get him back? How about we fool around before dinner for a change? Whitney, are you sure you remember how to have sex? I can't even remember the last time we did it. If you think you can make me forget the sex I had with Stephanie, you can try. I smirked this time, and for nothing. As it turned out, Whitney and I had sex both before and after dinner that night, hardly the best sex in our marriage. She even had me calling her Stephanie as I rocked her from behind. The sex wasn't yet as high quality as the sex with Stephanie, but my wife and I were definitely having much better than average sex. For the next few months, I was blessed with an irregular schedule of fantastic sex with Stephanie and improved sex with Whitney. I savored each lovemaking session with both as if it were my last, because I was sure something would happen soon that would end my sex with one or both partners. It was Stephanie who made things change. One afternoon, after another round of sex with Stephanie, she looked sad and pensive. I assumed she was going to break up with me. I wasn't too upset at that prospect. I was glad that our brief romance had lasted so long. I wasn't surprised to hear her say, "Edward, we need to talk." "Of course we do." I took a deep breath. "Baby, I can't do this anymore." "I understand. I expected this. I want to thank you for every moment we've spent together. You're a very special lady, and I wish you great happiness. Do you want me to leave now?" "No, what? Are you leaving me? Why are you talking about leaving?" "You misunderstood me. The problem is that I want you to stay this afternoon, tonight, and every day and night forever. I want this to be your home, and I want to be your wife, or at least your love buddy." She came over and hugged me tightly. "I love you, Edward." My jaw dropped to the floor. "Stephanie, are you sure this is what you want? Are you willing to give up all the gorgeous male models who want to have sex with you? The one thing these men have that you don't is confidence. Why is it so hard for you to believe that I'm in love with you? I know we've spent a lot of time together in bed, but I like talking to you beyond sex. I like just being in the same room with you. I've discussed things with you before that I've never told anyone else about. It may not sound romantic, but I feel so much more comfortable than I ever have when I'm with you. You seem to be making the false assumption that I have sex all the time with the male models I work with. In the past, that has happened occasionally, and it was usually regrettable when it did. But now, I haven't been with anyone else since we first had sex. I have no problem being exclusive with you. Edward, the problem I have is with our current situation. Knowing that you are living with Whitney and having sex with her is driving me crazy. I get so jealous when I imagine you with her even though she is your wife. I need to know, do you want me as much as I want you? Of course. More than anything, I want you with me. I hate to imagine that you could be with another woman. Are you ready to divorce Whitney and move in with me? I will do everything in my power to make you the happiest man in the world. I want us to have children. Are you saying you want to marry me? Not if you don't want to. I just want to be with you, whether we're married or not. Steph, the love I once had for Whitney has been tarnished by the way she's treated me over the past few years. I don't feel like coming home after work anymore. It feels like I'm just going to another job where my boss despises me. I don't feel in love anymore. Financially, I'd probably want to give her more than half of my assets to mitigate the damage. I don't want to make her life too difficult until she finds another man who can support her. Do you understand me? Besides, Stephanie, do you think we can live on your money and half my paycheck, at least until I stop paying alimony? Edward, I inherited some money from my grandfather, and I've been saving most of my modeling fees because I always knew that my ability to make money from modeling was temporary. It's getting harder and harder for makeup artists to do my makeup on me like I just graduated high school. Honey, I have enough money to secure my future with or without you. Since I consider you my future, I don't mind sharing my money. We made love again. Jason, I need you to recommend a family lawyer. Damn it, you and Whitney are breaking up? I thought your marriage was solid. Did she cheat on you or something? No, I cheated on her. What? You found someone else to have sex with? I didn't know you had it in you. I didn't realize you were a stud. Do I know who she is? I'm still assuming it's her, though, although you can never say for sure these days. It's her. Actually, it's a very pretty girl. That's Stephanie Cox. I wasn't surprised by the laughter I heard over the phone. After he finished, he said, "Thanks for the joke, Eddie boy. I've never laughed so hard in my life. So, why did you actually call?" It's not a joke, Jason. Stephanie and I are in love, and I need a divorce. I want to be as fair to Whitney as possible. You sound awfully serious. You and Stephanie Cox? It's not easy to imagine. Okay, I'll pretend you're telling the truth. Elaine Reynolds is a family law attorney from our office that I recommend. She's not stupid and she'll get you the best deal possible. Have you told Whitney yet? No. I told her that Stephanie and I are having an affair, but she refuses to believe that Stephanie is having sex with me. You can't blame her. Hell, I still don't believe it myself. I never approached Stephanie when we were in high school because I thought I didn't stand a chance. Shit. If you make love to her, you're one lucky asshole. Whitney, we need to talk. Wait a minute. Isn't that what the cheating wife says to her husband, pointing horns in all those short stories? Yes, but this time, it's a story about a cheating husband telling his wife. Edward, I really hope you're not in that Stephanie Cox used me story anymore. It's really boring. It's gone from amusing to tedious. I'm already thinking about calling Stephanie myself to refute your ridiculous story. Go on. I just wanted to tell you that I've contacted a lawyer about filing for divorce. Now, just a minute, Buster. You went too far with that joke. There better not be any divorce petition because there won't be any divorce. If I really thought you wanted to leave me, I'd just shoot you instead. I don't believe stupid people should be allowed to procreate. As punishment for your fake divorce announcement, you won't be sleeping in our bed tonight. Your only sex will be with Stephanie, who lives in your dreams. That's it, asshole. Now, what else do you want to say? I'll be at Stephanie's if you need me. With those words, I walked out the door. I'm assuming it was the Precious Moments doll that crashed through the door right after I closed it. I sure hope so. I wanted to gouge the doll's huge eyes out. How'd she take it, honey? Not very well, I'm afraid. I think she's going to try to contest the divorce. I admit I do feel sorry for her. I mean, she didn't do anything so terrible to you. I guess the thought of divorce was a real shock to her. Maybe I should talk to her myself and see if I can smooth her ruffled feathers. We were good friends in high school. If you think that's going to help, just be prepared for loud yelling and a lot of vulgar language. I'll do my best to soften the blow to her ego. Whitney, this is Stephanie Cox. Oh, my husband's pseudo-mistress. Did you just find out you're the other woman in my husband's elaborate cheating fantasy? It still drives me crazy every time I think about it. Whitney, I'm afraid it's not a joke or a fantasy. Edward and I have fallen in love. We're both sorry you're going to be hurt. I promise he'll be more than fair in the divorce. I called because I want to apologize to you personally. That's something a friend shouldn't do to a friend. I never intended to fall in love with your husband. It just happened. I'm sorry, truly sorry. Look, Steph, I can't believe a smart and successful woman like you would participate in this evil prank my husband pulled. I thought his goal was to get me more sex. Well, I started trying harder in bed, but our sex life didn't get any better. My Edward would never really divorce me, even for a gorgeous woman like you. He would be like the dogs that chase cars, and when they catch one, they don't know what to do with it. I don't know how much he paid you to mess with me, or what he knows to blackmail you, but it wouldn't work. Stephanie, there was a time when I would have killed just to get one of your boyfriends. The idea that you want to take my boring, normal Edward away from me is ridiculous. I know what he's like in bed. You could do better than him in a homeless shelter. Whitney, I'm sorry you have such a low opinion of your husband. I don't share that opinion, and in my estimation, he makes love very skillfully. If he and I marry after the divorce, which I hope we do, I will try not to make the same mistakes you obviously did. I will treasure what I have. Whitney, that was mostly just a courtesy call. I wanted to warn you that you're getting divorce papers at work tomorrow. I wanted you to be mentally prepared so it wouldn't surprise or embarrass you too much. Please give his suggestions some thought. Whitney, Edward did everything he could to try to play a joke on me. I bet he paid some random person to pretend to service me tomorrow. Maybe I could have a surprise of my own. At 10 o'clock, Whitney was informed that she had a visitor. She decided it was a fake server and told the receptionist to send the person over. Whitney got up and got into position. A well-dressed young woman walked in and asked, "Whitney Stokes?" "Yes." "May I see some identification?" "Sure, no problem." Whitney produced her driver's license. "That's good. Ms. Stokes, you've been served." She handed her a package. Whitney replied, "You've been served too." With those words, she laughed and slapped the young woman in the face with a lemon meringue pie. The woman flicked off most of the pie. "I'm going to press assault charges, you fool! No wonder your husband is divorcing you!" Then she ran out of the room. Whitney continued to laugh. The secretary asked, "What just happened, Ms. Stokes?" "My husband is playing a stupid joke on me. He's pretending to divorce me, and he has some incredibly hot woman to marry him. I decided to prank him back by starting with a fake server. I'm really curious about what's in the envelope, though." She ripped open the envelope. The papers looked legitimate, but she'd never seen a divorce petition before. She tossed everything in the trash and began cleaning up the mess she had made by maintaining the server. Whitney decided to see how far her husband would go in this farce. She checked their bank accounts and credit cards. Half the money had disappeared from the joint account, and the credit cards had been paid off and closed. Totally predictable. No big deal. Whitney transferred the remaining funds from the joint account to her own account and got her own ATM card. Whitney wasn't too surprised that Edward didn't come home that night. He was probably pissed that she didn't buy his joke. "He won't last long. Maybe I can give him an incentive. Maybe I can tell him I'm ready to have kids after all. He really wants kids." 1 month later. 4 weeks had passed without any change. Now Whitney began to worry. She hadn't heard anything from Edward. She checked and found that he went to work every day. Then she received a notice that her mortgage payment was late because the account that the automatic payment came from had been closed. Now she needed to talk to Edward. She called him at work and was a little surprised that he answered her call. "Edward, because of your little game, we are late on our house payment. We're both at risk of bad credit ratings. What are you going to do about it?" "I think we'll settle this at the hearing next week." "What hearing?" "A hearing set up by my lawyer. You never gave us the name of your lawyer. We sent you a registered letter. You signed for it." "I thought it was part of your joke." "You need to face the fact that it's not a joke. We're getting a divorce. Get your head out of your ass and get a lawyer. All future contact must go through our lawyers." He hung up. She suddenly realized that this probably wasn't a joke. They were headed for divorce. Whitney panicked, quit her job, and got down to business. She contacted a family law attorney and told him the details. He wanted to be uncooperative because she didn't respond to the petition or letters. He finally told her to be at the hearing, dress nicely, and have an idea of the settlement she wanted. That day came. Whitney was with her attorney, and Edward, Stephanie, the man-stealing fool, and his attorney were already seated. The hearing began with Whitney's attorney first demanding a consultation. Edward's attorney stated that Edward's wife had obstructed the process from the beginning and that counseling was just another stalling tactic. Whitney testified that she thought Edward was joking about the divorce and that she did not want a divorce. She won the first round. 12 weeks of counseling was scheduled. Edward was willing to pay 60% of the bills out of his paycheck. Counseling. Whitney, what do you hope to get out of these sessions? I hope to stop the divorce and get back to where we were before he started cheating on me. Edward, what about you? Do whatever it takes to expedite the divorce. Well, it looks like we're going to have quite a divide to bridge. Edward, I understand you were the one who started the affair. Please tell us your story. Actually, it started long before my relationship with Stephanie. I'd loved Whitney for years. For the most part, she was a good wife. She probably would have been a great mother if she had ever agreed it was time to have a child. She always had an excuse to postpone motherhood. I admit I wasn't that unhappy about it, and I wasn't purposely looking for an affair, but it happened. One day I was eating lunch when our old high school friend Stephanie Cox showed up. She was famous at our school for being a popular model for all the teen magazines. The lunch tables were busy, and she asked if she could join me. I was extremely flattered that she remembered me from high school at all. I was certainly not part of the V group she usually socialized with. We ate and talked before lunch and afterward. She said she enjoyed chatting with me and asked if we could get together again. I suggested a time and place for dinner, and she agreed. I was euphoric. I had a date with one of the most beautiful women in the world. I didn't say anything to Whitney because I secretly wanted something sexual to happen between Stephanie and me, even though my brain was saying no way. Anyway, we met again for dinner, this time at her apartment. I was completely crazy about her. As I was leaving, she leaned over to kiss me goodbye. It started with just lips, but soon passion prevailed. I thought I had hit the jackpot, but really it was to follow. A few minutes later, I returned to the apartment and my clothes began to be stripped off. I kept waiting for her to tell me she was just messing with me, but it never happened. Sex happened. The best sex of my life. I'm sorry, Whitney, but it's true. I felt happy and guilty at the same time. I went home and told Whitney. She didn't believe me. According to her, there was no way a loser like me could go on a date with a woman like Stephanie, let alone get her to have sex with me. That pissed me off. When Stephanie said she wanted to see me again, I said to myself, I'll just show Whitney. As my romance with Stephanie blossomed, Whitney increasingly scoffed at my claims that I was with Stephanie. She thought I was faking or delusional. There was no way Stephanie Cox wanted me. I will admit that Whitney has improved in the bedroom and we have had the best sex in our marriage in the last few months. One day, Stephanie said she wanted to be with me permanently and exclusively. We decided we wanted to be together as husband and wife, even though it meant I would have to get a divorce. I tried to tell Whitney as gently as I could, but when I told her, she laughed in my face. She thought I had either lost my mind or completely misinterpreted Stephanie's feelings when she was probably just putting up with me. When I served Whitney, she attacked the servers and threw the papers away. It wasn't until she called me about a late mortgage payment that she realized there was actually a divorce going on. The bottom line is that even though Whitney hadn't done anything horrible before Stephanie and I got together, she disrespected and ridiculed me to the point where I considered leaving her, even though it would have been impossible to marry Stephanie. My love for Stephanie is an additional reason to divorce her. That's all. That's enough for today. Next week, we'll let Whitney give her side of the story. Whitney interjected, "Why can't I say anything today?" Maybe just briefly. Edward, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. You're a great catch for any woman. I love you and I want to remain your wife. Please forgive me and give me another chance. I'm ready to have a child with you as soon as possible. I want children as much as you do." Edward didn't say anything as he left. He was clearly agitated. Whitney told her side of the story, admitting her disbelief and then her disrespect for her husband. She feared that Stephanie was too big a prize for Edward to give up on her. Whitney promised to treat him better and get pregnant as soon as possible so they could have children. Edward simply said, "Too little. Too late. No, it's not if you just give me another chance." The final divorce hearing began. Whitney looked considerably older. Her dress was wrinkled and she wasn't wearing any makeup other than lipstick. She looked depressed, very depressed. The judge spoke. "I understand that 12 weeks of counseling has not led to reconciliation. I also understand that the wife still wishes to remain married. Mr. Stokes, this is your last chance to change your mind. Do you want to divorce or stay married to her?" Whitney is an attractive woman with many good character traits. She can be a terrific wife to another man and mother to their children. I once wanted to be that kind of person. I don't want that anymore. Your Honor, I want a divorce. Judge Douglas. Fine. I declare the marriage dissolved in accordance with the terms of the settlement presented to me. Mr. and Mrs. Stokes, you are now divorced. When everyone stood up, Whitney was left sitting there crying. Edward stood up and said, "Whitney, don't give up on yourself. You can have a bright future with someone else. I really do wish you the best." All in tears, Whitney surprised everyone by pulling a gun out of her purse. "There's no reason why we can't be happy again once I get rid of her," and pointed the gun at Stephanie. Stephanie stood up and patted her stomach. "If you shoot me, you'll kill more than just me." The belly she patted was almost starting to bulge. Whitney dropped the gun and broke down completely before she was disarmed and led away. As soon as Whitney was led out of the room, Edward asked, "Stephanie, are you pregnant?" "No, I've just gained a little. Sex can be great exercise, but it burns a lot fewer calories than my usual exercise when I'm getting ready for a shoot. I know Whitney well enough to know that she would never kill an unborn child." "You took a big risk, honey. So you're not pregnant." "You know, I'm a little disappointed that I'm not." "It doesn't mean I can't be pregnant. We can get started as soon as we get home." "Sounds like a good idea to me." Stephanie snuggled up to Edward on the couch in the apartment she now officially shared with him. "Edward, I've been thinking about a name for the baby. If we have a girl, what do you think of the name Whitney?" She smirked. "I doubt you mean it." "The end!"